here to play Metal Gear Solid 3. After
the
end
of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West.
Yes, I don't need
this
to read
marked
this.
the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Seems a lot longer ago than what's going on in the story, but sure. The Cold War. It is getting wintry now. Hideo Kojima game. Big plane to drop off tanks. Or maybe a lot of soldiers. David Hayter. Snake. I don't know if any of those are the characters that I should know. Now, is David Hayter actually the voice actor for Snake? That would be hilarious if it's been the name of the voice actor all along and I've just been dumb. 1964.
Altitude 30,000 feet.
Snake's that old.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
No, it's not Snake.
20 minutes to drop off.
No, that's Snake.
Pressurization.
I didn't realise this was in the 60s.
Parachute.
Jesus.
All right. You ready to go?
Drop zone still
You know
showing
what? The
pressure
high
mass.
resin looks really good.
Cam okay.
Good. We've got high visibility.
That guy's got a major scar from somewhere. Yeah, the upscaling looks really good. They're in foxhounds. I see the fox symbol. Smoking a Cubana.
Put out that cigar.
I guess he has cigars now, not cigarettes. Yeah, let's connect the oxygen whilst he's smoking. That is not dangerous. He's got earplugs. He's listening to his...
Does this
got his
Pennywise
iPod
know what he's
on
doing?
in the 60s.
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
Habano. Is he gonna blow the whole plane up? So mature. Oh no, he's got the riding mask.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
6 minutes to drop off. Flashbang. Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. He is the Snake Eater. He's Snake though. Maybe this is back in time and he's like a previous... Because they are clones.
External temperature minus
Clones
46
of
degrees
clones of
Celsius.
clones.
2 minutes to drop off. Stand up.
Maybe this was the original DNA of Snake.
You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
Maybe he was the original DNA
This
source.
is one for the history books. The world's first Halo jump.
But why has he got Metal Gear
10 seconds to
Solids
drop off. Stand
on
by.
his stuff? You know, surely
Status okay.
Metal Gear
All
weren't in the
green.
60s.
Prepare for drop-off.
Grey
Countdown.
game.
5,
Okay, is
4, 3,
but says grey
2,
game. A grey case.
Spread your wings
Yeah,
and
no, it's a grey box.
God be with you.
Has he got wings that are gonna shoot out rather than a parachute? That's a very dangerous way to be diving out the plane. Just doing somersaults and flips. I'm sure that won't make you fall unconscious at Mach 3. Then again, it's the 60s. They probably weren't going that fast. They'll probably barely do Mach 1. They wouldn't have been even doing Mach 1 in a plane like that, let's face it. It's a transport plane, it's not a high-speed plane. It would have barely been flying. Like the Bumblebee. Loading. Yeah, the high-res upgrades actually do look pretty good. Did make a difference to the cutscene, I would say. Not that I've seen how it's meant to look originally, but it, you know, it was definitely upscaled. It looks sharp and, you know, good models. But I don't know what it's meant to look like. Maybe Metal Gear 3 always looked that good.
Jack, I've got some important news.
Jack!
Head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the virtuous mission.
Virtual mission?
No,
But that's
the
safe. That's
virtuous
not
mission.
Jack.
The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
Jack was riding.
Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
Now, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles.
Who's
His
it
name
going
is
to be?
Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov.
Yeah, I don't think we
He's
know
head
him.
of the OKB-754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Is he making the first ever
Isn't he that
Metal Gear?
famous rocket scientist?
The very same. On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The
Okay.
Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri
Space
Gagarin to
Metal
orbit
Gear.
was
No
the
way.
A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
Okay.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story. So why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid.
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his
Afraid
country
of
and his
space
family
rockets.
behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the west. We used a mole to get the family out first and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov
They
over
dug
the
them
Berlin
all the way
Wall
onto the
shortly
planet.
afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then.
The moles
Then
don't
what?
holes.
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent.
Probably because he'd
It
been
was
taken
only a
around by
week
moles.
later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
The space Metal Gear,
October
probably.
16, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba. The president demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba.
Okay.
US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war.
We get the full briefing in this
were
one.
conducted with the UN's Emergency
Very
Security
different.
Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union
He died.
agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba. And so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to
Until
get the
this
Soviets
day.
to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete,
Jupiter.
and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he
Well, I
working
mean,
on?
Metal Gear is going to be a lot
At the time,
better
we
than
had no idea.
missiles, isn't it?
We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we
But
had
yes,
no
it
choice.
also has nuclear
President
capabilities.
Kennedy
like
gave
all
in to
the others.
Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handed
was a
him
bit
over
soaked.
to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight. Then, a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
They dug too deep.
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No,
See,
missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device.
It's
For
a
half
Metal
a year
Gear!
now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Yeah, this is definitely
Is
like
Sokolov still in the
back in
facility?
time or something.
No,
Which
according
makes
to
no
our
sense.
intelligence, he's
But then
in
again, the other
Selino
one was in
a place in the
weirdness as
mountains
well.
about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
It must be in like the
Virgin
original
Cliffs.
Solid Snake and the original Metal
Nice
Gear
name
or
for a
something at this
virtuous
point.
mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's our best
Oh, it's a
chance
Metal
to get him
Gear.
back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
But he also had it written on his mask as if he knows that it's a Metal Gear. Also, why is he Snake Eater? I guess the eater part is going to get worn off and the, oh, he's going to die. Most of his helmet's going to be obscured and it's just going to say Solid Snake, isn't it? So the Metal Gear and the eater part, why is it silent and just showing this? Is this meant, you're meant to be saying something here? Did it fall out of sync or something? So his helmet's just going to say Solid Snake at the end, and then they're going to take his DNA and it's going to be used to create something, to create the future clone Snakes, isn't it? Like, he was the greatest soldier, he saved the world, and then we took his DNA and we cloned him. Solid Snake, because that's all that was left readable on his helmet of the scorched, burnt remains of this person. I'm sure something very interesting is occurring with this weird mushroom cloud or something. Okay, it's a nuclear explosion. I mean, it's not quite nuclear maybe, but, you know, it's some sort of underground explosion for certain. Left a big hole. And we are to assume that this is the weapons test of Great Worry in the Desert. I feel like maybe the visuals have gone off scale. There's Taralinsk. We're going to this location here. We're going to drop you off right here, Snake. Somewhere around here. And then this big mountain over here is where you need to head towards. Make sure that you go there. The top secret stuff is occurring inside of this mountain. You need to infiltrate it and find the weapon. Over here is some other location where they did the weapons tests. And you might find evidence of the nuclear explosion there. But maybe there's nothing else there. I'm sure they were all very important things and very important words being said right there that we didn't get to hear. It was classified. We're not allowed. Redacted. Okay, so he's dropping us off. He's got Raiden's helmet. Yeah, it's very weird that this is in the 60s. So he must be the very first Snake. Which means, you know, because they are clones, that
Listen up, Jack.
when
Your
he
mission
dies,
is to
he
infiltrate
might be
Selino
dying.
Yask in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the West.
You probably press RB before you die. Oh, that's just to look through your mask. That's not to deploy
If we
your...
don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking.
Okay, so the weapon hasn't been completed yet. So RB's first person mode, good to know. Not that I can
Once we've
trigger it
confirmed the
again.
rescue of
Okay.
Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat proven.
Do you think
So
Sokolov is
she's
up
going to be
it?
our mailing, right?
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
And he's
So
the new
you're
general.
planning on going over the border in a single combat Talon?
She's equipped with two 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as two 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the
This is more
reserve
than a
tank, we're
tank,
facing
though.
a 4-hour time limit.
4
If all
hours.
goes well, it
Beat
shouldn't
the
take
game.
more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But
it's
if
not gonna
anything
go that
goes
well.
wrong,
You'll be eating dinner, breakfast,
and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
It's all going to go very wrong. Your parachute looks a little holy. Few too many big holes in that parachute. I mean, you know, I get that sometimes they have holes like that, but that seems a lot. And that very big one as well. Like, how did that rip open? And into it. Perfect. Oh, he lost his grey satchel! The grey case! We need that. Superhero landing. Despite the very slow landing parachute. Like, show off. Yeah. I just needed to look cool, even though I parachuted in and pretend that I didn't. Okay, so he's got some sort of radar as well. You threw that away, whatever that is. Don't need this. I lost my grey case, I don't need anything else. Oh, who's this? It's Snake. David Hayter. He's not even Solid Snake, he's just Snake. Not even Snake Plissken. And he's got both his eyes. And he doesn't have nanobots, he has a iPod.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as
Naked
Snake from now on.
Even though
You're
his
not
helmet
to
said
mention
Snake
your real
Eater.
name.
Snake?
What, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
His helmet said
You've
he ate
eaten one
snakes.
before, haven't you?
In survival training.
So why is he now the
I'm
snake?
glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
What about you, Major? What should I call you?
Let's see. How
How about just Major,
I'll be
considering you
Tom.
say
Call me
Major?
Major Tom.
Okay.
This will be a sneaking mission. You must
Stealth.
not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration
very
is the
well.
Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment are procured on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely
Rations,
naked,
sausages.
just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see
Even
why
though
you
we
asked
had
me
a
if I
grey
liked
box.
snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No, there's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been
Buy
issued a
them
knife and a
sausages and
tranquilizer
rations.
gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll
Funny, I
also
lost
find some
them in the
medical
tree.
supplies in your backpack.
Yeah, about the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
So he just cuts
Well,
off the call.
You'd better go back and get it then. You know where it is?
In a tree.
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree, stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy and press the action button.
Okay.
I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship. My frequency is 140.85. I'll give you a call if I need to talk to you.
I
If you
can't call
need
you.
to talk to me, use the send function.
Okay, I can.
Okay, Snake, go get your backpack.
141.96, that's my save, right? Dmitry South, we are in Russia. Olive drab. What's with the 10%? Oh, it's the... No, surely not, because, like, 0%. Must be the stealth level? Because if I just run 0... Knife? I mean, at least we got the knife, a large bladed knife for close combat. Okay, you can also do a weird stab. We can also look around with the camera, which is interesting and different. We've also got a revival pill. Can wake up from fake death, hidden in his teeth. Okay, he can duck. 80% stealth. Okay, right. So, yeah, that's a weird stealth meter. I'm guessing we're going to find, like, other... Like, I want to be able to turn him with that camera, but, you know, modern cameras, I guess. Okay, that's a very camouflaged thing over there. Which tree are we going to? Okay, hiding against walls gives us stealth, but I've figured out that part at the very least. Okay, these are just some rocks. Okay. Aha! Rare mushroom egg! I had a feeling looking at that. That was something unusual and different. Snake. It's a shame I can't walk past in that view. Rare snake! Health. Why did it turn weird? We're in a simulation again. We're absolutely in a simulation again. Okay, the snakes respawn. So you can farm snaky things. And mushrooms. I guess we're going to be making dinner. Can we cook them and combine them? Ironically, they're not in the thing. Russian oyster mushroom. Throw. Reticulated python meats. Maybe we do need to cook it in a fire. Okay, maybe we need to make rations from steak and mushrooms. Because he can't do anything with those. He can't eat them. Straight up, they're raw. He needs to cook them, obviously. Butterfly. What is... The snake. Hi, snake. I see you. Articulated snake heads. Okay. I don't think the butterfly is going to be anything if I kill it, but it's interesting that there are things that you do things like that and it gives you things. Right, let's get our backpack down. Perfect. Got it.
I see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake.
I did.
To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack. In the survival viewer, choose Weapon from the backpack. Your available weapons will be displayed in a window in the upper left. From that list, choose the weapon you want to equip and press the Enter button. For other equipped items, just do the same thing
Enter
from
button.
Got it. Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's right. Survival is fundamental to this mission. After you've been out in the field for a while, your stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly.
Requirements.
Keep an eye on your stamina so you don't run out. To recover lost stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna.
No.
You can use either your tranquilizer gun or your knife to hunt.
My only
Tranquilizer
weapon
gun.
is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun.
Perfect. The real
That's
Snake
right.
would never
It's
kill.
been fitted with its own suppressor. However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire.
My
Once
God.
its durability reaches 0, the noise suppression effect will be gone. So don't get too trigger-happy with it. The suppressor's durability is shown in the icon. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now, you'll have to find as you go.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
Maybe
Solo
it's a test.
covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat, or bodily waste. The same goes for bullets and cartridges, too. Your
But you can
presence in
steal all
enemy
of that.
territory is already a violation of international conventions of warfare.
You know, taking
aren't
their
supposed to be
stuff
any
is
American
not a
soldiers in
trench,
Russia.
is it? Right?
It could spark an international incident. You can't let anyone see you. You can't let the enemy know you're there. This is a stealth mission. You're a ghost, Snake, in every sense of the word.
I don't think
There'll
we're
be
going to
no
stay
rescue
stealth.
if you're captured. The military and US government will deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just have to take care of myself, huh?
That
I'm
will.
afraid so. You've been given a fake death pill for that purpose. SIS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule. Tape it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So how do I come back to life?
Just take the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That's the one. But be careful. If you
You only
remain
have
in a
one.
state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to bring you back. Remember that.
I'll keep it in mind. You said this was a solo mission, right?
Right.
I guess that means I can't count on any reinforcements.
Correct. The mission rests entirely in your hands.
A real one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team ready to back you up
But how
over
would
the
you
radio.
break the tooth?
Who?
I'll
When
introduce
he's,
them to
you know, in a
This
state
time,
of death.
Survival is of utmost importance. The first member of the support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with me.
She.
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic.
You didn't see
Nice to
her?
meet you.
Paramedic.
Paramedic.
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real name?
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
My
You
name,
said no real name.
It's John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short. You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield. After a week,
And then
no
he
one has a
literally
name.
said his real name.
What's
But
your
John
name?
Doe, that's not a real name,
Jane
right?
Doe.
Very funny.
I wasn't joking, but I'll tell you my name only if you manage to make it back alive. My frequency is 145.73.
She's also in charge of recording your mission data. Whenever
Why
you
is the
want to
save on
save,
that?
send
Okay,
a
it's
message
the
over the
save.
reserved save frequency, 140.96.
So saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right. It also records the state of your health.
Good to
And
know.
all the items that you have
There's one
and where
more
you are in
person
the
I
game.
want to introduce you to, Snake. Speaking of snakes, you remember the boss,
Big
don't
boss.
you? A legendary soldier and your mentor. Actually, it was the boss that got the DCI's authorization in the first place. She's going to be serving as Fox's mission advisor.
Boss is?
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Jack, is that you? How many years has it been?
Boss?
That's right. It's me. Talk to me. Let me hear your voice.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
Okay, Snake.
You've lost weight.
You can tell.
I can
just
tell
by
that
sound
over
of
the
my
phone,
voice.
yes.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Really? Well, I don't know anything about you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top secret mission. You didn't need me anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
No, I taught you everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think
You
like a
learned that.
soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit, body, and technique. And the only thing you can learn from someone else is technique. In fact, technique doesn't even matter. What's most important is spirit. Spirit and body are like two sides of a single coin. They're the same thing. I can't teach you how to think. You'll just have to figure it out for yourself. Listen to
The
me,
snake
Jack.
clones didn't
Just
know
because
how to
soldiers
think.
are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be. Having personal feelings about your
Yeah, sides
comrades
change
is
all
one
the
of the
time.
worst sins you can commit. Politics determine who you face on the
So
battlefield.
basically, you're saying
And
that we're going to be
politics are a living
betrayed.
thing. They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned me?
No, it had nothing to do with you. I already told you, Jack. I was on a top secret mission.
And
A
allegiances
soldier
are
has
gonna
to follow
change.
whatever orders he's given. It's not his place to question why. But you're looking for a reason to fight. You are a natural-born fighter, but you're not quite a soldier. A soldier is a political tool, nothing more. That's doubly true if he's a career soldier. Right and wrong have no place in his mission. He has no enemies and no friends.
I wonder
Only
what the
mission.
choosing
You follow the
what
orders you're
message you like
given.
most is.
That's what being a soldier is.
I do whatever I have to
It's
to
got to
get the
have
job
some
done.
consequences, right?
I don't think about politics.
That's not the same thing. Sooner or later, your conscience is going to bother you. In the end, you have to choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a gun. There's a saying in the Orient, loyalty to the end. Do you know what it means?
That you're going to die.
Patriotic.
It means devoting yourself to your country.
I follow the president and the top brass. I'm ready to die for them if necessary.
The president and the top brass won't be there forever. Once their terms are up, others will take their place.
They will have
I
other
follow
interests.
the will of the leader, no matter who's in charge.
People aren't the ones who dictate the missions.
Then who does?
The times. People's values change over time, and so do the leaders of
Or
a
the
country.
patriots.
So there's no such thing as an enemy in absolute terms. The enemies we fight are only enemies in relative terms, constantly changing with the times. As long as we have loyalty to the end, there's no point in believing in anything, even in those we love.
And that's the way a soldier's
She's
supposed to think.
talking like
The only
a
thing we
rebel.
can believe in with
And that she
absolute
wants
certainty
revolution.
is the mission, Jack.
All right, but do me a favor.
What is it?
Call me Snake.
She's
Snake.
talking like she's going to
Oh,
betray
right.
you.
Your codename is Snake. It suits you well.
That's right. The legendary unit that the boss put together during World War II was a snake. The Cobra unit, a group of heroes that brought the war to an end and saved the world. As long as you've got a legendary hero backing you up, you'll be fine. Isn't that right, Snake?
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have with me. Oh, and one more thing, boss.
Yes,
It's good to hear your voice again.
same here. After all, who knows if either of us will make it out alive? Snake, you
She
are
knows you
always
won't.
best at urban warfare and infiltrating buildings.
But we're in the
this
jungle.
is the jungle. Survival is going to be key. Those CQC techniques I taught you are sure to come in handy.
CQC. Close quarters combat, huh? I've been in the Green Berets for the past few years. I'm probably pretty rusty.
Press the circle
Not to
button to
worry.
punch the people.
I'll be here to help you remember. After all, this is your first actual survival mission. I'll be supporting you over the radio.
Where are you, boss? Next to the major?
The boss is communicating with us by radio from aboard a Permit-class submarine in the Arctic Ocean.
Or
My
is she
frequency
in
is
the enemy base?
141.80. Call me if you need my advice on battle techniques.
Gotcha.
Your mission is to retrieve Dr. Sokolov. Dr. Sokolov is being held in an abandoned factory located to the north of your current position. Avoid heavy combat and don't let anyone see you. Don't forget that this is a stealth mission.
Good, because Metal Gear 2 wasn't so much. It was very stupid. I don't
Snake,
mind if it
try
goes
to
back
remember
being
some of the
proper stealth.
basics of CQC.
What is with his eyes? Like, I know he's got paint on, but like his eyes are very greeny, and also like he's got eyeshadow on. Okay, so the gun made it so that I couldn't stab the snake. It's weird that we throw the snake stuff, but I'm guessing we're gonna learn to cook it soon. The swamplands. Shrek. That map up the top right is not very useful. I have no idea what it's trying to remotely even tell me. I hear something moving. Or a boar. Probably a boar. Okay, there's many birds. Not seeing anything, right. I'm going to assume enemy in here. Or a crocodile. Or several alligators. Yes. Okay, you start thinking. Oh, were you coming for me? Because I stepped in the water. You have a very, very long nose. I come over here. Are you going to be mad at me? Great, Snake. Good job. Way to get that croc. Gavial? Okay, I mean, I want to smack them from the sides where they're not going to kill me. I know there's another one in here. I see you. Ow. How dare you flick me over? Because I don't want to waste my gun. Grenades? That crocodile ate a grenade. I see the hive. They don't seem to necessarily want to fight him that much. Yeah, I was thinking that can only end well. Ointments. M2 bullets are full. Was I meant to use them? They don't want to fight back. It seems really rude. You have something over there. And it's not just an... It might just be bullets. It might just be bullets. They kind of look the same box. Don't shoot the birds. I'm not going to go over there to fight them. We don't need to. Okay, because he's muddy, he's actually 5% lower stealth. That's really clever. He's making sloppy, muddy noises, and he's even less stealthy now. Okay. It said we were full of meat. Okay, we are full of all foods. I guess you have a limited amount of all foods. Maybe don't press start. Okay, backpack. Right, so we've got the directional microphone, binoculars. Oh no, there's weight requirements. Fake death pill, anti-personnel sensor, cigars and binoculars. Nothing. We can make cages. Taste unknown. I'm sure he remembers what the taste of things is. A hornet's nest. Probably tastes of honey. I'm gonna get rid of one of the pythons. So that I can pick up a pear. Because that seems interesting. Right. We must need to cook foods, right? It's the only thing that makes sense, so we would need to cook. We should probably get the personnel sensor out at some point. You know, because we're going to clearly run into people. Shibep. He definitely went hard with the eyeliner, didn't he? It's not just the war paint, he has eyeliner on as well. Yeah, he is a person. Okay, I see the slats, but it also looks like maybe...
Major, I've spotted 2 enemy soldiers.
They're probably KGB troops sent to guard Sokolov.
AK-47s and grenades.
This can only end well.
Snake, your presence in Soviet territory is already a violation of international law. We can't let the Kremlin find out that the CIA and the American government are involved. Contact with the enemy is strictly prohibited. Don't engage them in battle either. This is a stealth mission. Got that?
The Major is right. The point of this mission is to sneak through the jungle without being seen. The success of the mission depends on how well you use your camouflage. Change your camouflage by selecting camouflage from the survival viewer. The uniform option lets you pick your uniform, while the face option lets you change your face paint. Choosing camouflage that blends in with your surroundings will help you conceal yourself more effectively. Also, don't forget that anything that moves will stand out in the jungle. If you just stand up and run around like an idiot, you're bound to be spotted. But if you crawl instead, you should be able to sneak by without being noticed. You can see how effective your camouflage is by looking at the camo index.
Being naked is probably not going to be very effective.
The camo index shows how well your current camouflage blends in with the surrounding area.
Maybe if he paints his body as well and not just his face.
The harder you are to spot, and vice versa. The key is to make yourself one with nature. Keep that in mind as you go along, okay?
Right, so that thing in the top right corner, it's not a radar, it's a, what camouflage you have on.
Saving the game, Snake?
Yeah, better hat. Also, you know that it's a game, huh? We are playing on hard mode.
You ever heard of Godzilla, King of Monsters?
No, what is it?
It's
what
a
could
movie.
possibly go wrong?
You haven't seen it?
Nope.
It's about this monster called Godzilla, who grows to an enormous size in a nuclear test and goes on a rampage in Tokyo.
Nuclear test, huh? Then the Marshall Islands must be crawling with giant monsters right about now.
It's just make-believe.
Maybe that's why my pants have been so tight lately.
Snake, it's a movie, not a report out of Los Alamos.
I know.
You
so
saying you've got a nuclear snake down there?
Godzilla is immune to all weapons, and humanity has no way to stop the monster. Dr. Shirazawa develops a new type of weapon, but meanwhile, Godzilla is getting closer and closer to Tokyo, obliterating everything in its path. It was originally a Japanese movie, but they made an American version, too. I recommend seeing the original Japanese one if you ever get the chance. It's mostly mindless fun, but it's also got a serious anti-nuke message as well.
Where can I see the original?
You'll just have to go to Japan.
Really? That's too bad.
Well, if you wait 40 years, you might be able to see it in America, too.
Why's that?
2004
They're
will be
allowed
Godzilla's
technology.
50th birthday.
You think they're still going to be making Godzilla movies then?
Of course.
They did.
Everybody loves Godzilla.
You sure know a lot about movies.
I don't suppose you're the movie-watching type, are you?
Not really.
Okay, then I'll tell you everything I know. When the going gets tough, movies can save your life. It's always good to be able to look at things from a different perspective when you get in a jam. That's the magic of movies.
No kidding. Well, I guess it might at least make a nice distraction.
Yeah, you
That's
can
the
definitely watch
spirit,
these
Snake.
movies whilst you're
Have
in the
a
middle of the
little fun.
jungle. Camouflage. You don't have a lot of paint on at all, do you? Woodlands, just paint your face blackface. Splitter. Okay. You have someone else's face mask. Now, why do you have Raiden's face? Or is that meant to be liquids? But then again, aren't they one and the same? Interesting. Tiger stripe. It's interesting that that's like sort of okay. Effective in underbush. Just go completely naked. Only on the upper body. You know, the lower body doesn't make any difference. Effective when against trees. I mean, if we go against a tree. Brown background. Dark areas against black grounds. I feel like maybe the tiger stripe might be the best. I know, like, Leaf is probably the best at the moment. With those black gloves that you don't bother covering up. You know, roll down your sleeves. You're trying to be stealthy. No, I'll just leave them uncovered. Yeah, that's why I thought maybe... maybe I should go with the Tiger Leaf, because Tiger Leaf's good in all situations, not just the underbush. And, you know, whilst it's a little less out here, it's going to be more stealthy overall. Where did they go? They buggered off. Like, am I meant to be going down there?
Huh? Who's that?
One. Suddenly there's a guy. Hi. I was like, this is oddly quiet. I'll go back, because this seems to be a longer path than maybe the side path I thought. Yeah, there's nobody here. Just me and a python. A Dragunov sniper rifle! I mean, I'm gonna try not to kill people. What if I throw the snake meat at them? It's a shame that I can't walk round in first person. This game almost seems like maybe it's designed to walk round in first person.
What the?
You see nothing. Especially as the camera is literally obscuring me from being able to see you whilst I'm approaching you. Fine, I will crawl along the floor. Camouflaged. Maybe I'll be able to see where you even are. Oh, are you on a hill or something? You might be up on the hill. Snake, what are you doing? Stop being a papaga. Yeah, he must be up on the hill or something. Because I'm not seeing anyone. Okay, now we get to look around in this view. I mean, I hear the guy, but it's ironically even worse to see in this view. There he is. Like, you know, they just want to make sure that the view is absolutely the worst it could possibly be at all times. Anything else over here to the left? Probably not. Okay, now we snake. Because we're going to crawl around on the floor at all times. Until we end up crawling in the mud and being literally exposed. Tree that we can climb. That guy's moving away. There's probably good loot up that tree, right? But now we're just going to be snake crawls along the floor forever. Snake climbs up tree. For pears. Really? Yeah, great snake. I didn't want the pears anyway. So what was that other guy hiding? Like, he had a whole other area. This openness is going to be like the death of me, isn't it? I'm going to want to know. Just a snake. No. Frog!
I must be seeing things.
Why did you come over here? There's something over there. Also, it's nice that in this particular spot, we don't have to see in the first person. I see him. There's nothing over there, is there? Getting too thick in. Wait there, snake. There's an item. I want it. But this guy is too close. I want the item. I'm too greedy. You aren't coming over here, are you? You are coming over here. You're gonna see the python and you're gonna leave. And you're not gonna fight me. That's it. Go away. Empty bullets.
I think I saw something.
No, you didn't.
Huh. Guess I'm seeing things.
You did see something. Yep, you saw a man. What about other guy? Damn it, Snake!